16th birthday is in a couple of days. And we planned a big adventure for her downtown, a little scavenger hunt with friends. But I still wanted to give her something on her actual birthday, which is Monday. So I decided to get a few of these cotton handkerchiefs. And they have a cute little crocheted edge. There's 3 different edges. And make them a super dark blue in the indigo so that she could do some embroidery on them. Sorry for the background noise. There's porch building going on. But I thought that'd be really pretty to use some brighter colors against the dark blue of the indigo. So I'm putting them in a second time to let them sit for a while to see if I can get a really dark blue out of it. Thursday morning, bright and early on, I believe it's the 29th, 28th, somewhere in the end of June. I thought I'd get outside while the air was still cool and before the dogs started barking to see if I could record a little something for you. It's not going to be a huge episode. I have a small amount of knitting and a few homesteady things that I wanted to chat with you about. I'm out on my porch. We have put down the flooring of the porch and we'll start on the railing today, hopefully. It's getting very exciting. It's bigger than the cabin, but that's kind of, it's perfect because that way I can have big classes out here or spread out big pieces if I'm working by myself. So yeah, it's wonderful. I'm really, really excited. I told my mother-in-law for her birthday, because it's going to be her 70th birthday this year, that I would like to offer her and her girlfriends eco-printing class out here. She's asked me before about the really big silks that I do, and if I could make them for her friends, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun for all of them to come out and have their hands in making them themselves. So she's been friends with this group of girls since she was in high school, which I think is really cool. They still get together every year and do trips and are really close. So hopefully they're all going to come out here sometime this fall and we'll do a little eco-printing. Yeah, so it's been a busy 2 weeks. It always is. You guys can just count that it's going to be busy because I don't let myself not be busy. I have a hard time settling down. But one big thing that happened was my oldest daughter turned 16, and I cannot believe she's 16. She's such an amazing 16. I mean, I feel very lucky. She's responsible. She's kind. She's thoughtful. She's just an amazing person, and I wanted to make something that was a memorable day for her sweet 16. And we thought, oh, well, we could take her gem mining because she thought that would be fun, or we could go tubing, but these are all things that we could kind of do any other day. So Toby and I decided to send her on a scavenger hunt. And we set it up. She didn't know anything about it except that she needed to save Saturday without anything. Well, the whole weekend, really. So I got in touch with her friends and with the grandparents, and we set it all up. No one knew anything about it except their role in the scavenger hunt. So it started Saturday morning. She had a girlfriend sleep over the night before, and when they woke up, or we woke them up and presented them with their mission. And it basically said, for your birthday, you need to solve and follow the clues, and they will take you into town, and with each clue you'll have to complete a task to earn your next clue. So she didn't know she was going to be meeting up with anyone else. So the first clue sent her to a place called the Herbiary, which is an herb shop, tea shop. It has candles and body care things, and it's a fun little shop that she really likes. So she figured that one out. That one was a clue that had a lot of things about herbs. Oh no, it was the history of medicine that talks about herbalism. That was a clue. She figured it out pretty quickly. Leif and I took off before she left so that he and I could start planting clues at different places, and everybody was already in on this from all the places downtown that we went to. My husband drove her and her friend to the herbiary, and when they walked in, another friend shows up. And so she met with another girlfriend, and then she had to go to the front counter and say, I'm here to pick something up. And then they gave her the next clue. From there, she went to 5 or 6 different places, each place picking up another friend or a grandmother. She picked up both her grandmothers. She went and had tea. She had to order cookies and tea to get her clue. She went to a place called Fired Up, where they do paint your own pottery and glass fusing. So she had to complete a glass fusing project. She went to a local bookstore, Malaprops, where she had to find a specific book that had the clue in it. And then it ended up with the last place where she met the last person was a breakout room, and she met Leif, her brother, there. So there were 7 of them, and they did a breakout room. And when they solved the puzzle, I told them they have to solve the puzzle because that's where the last clue is coming from. They solved the puzzle, opened up the last door to reveal the what they were looking for, and in there they had placed the last clue, which was so cool. They were all excited about it. And the last clue sent her to a dinner spot where she met up with Toby and I, and we all had dinner together. It was so amazing. It was so fun. Everybody had a blast. They all came home afterwards, and we had ice cream sundaes and watched movies, and it was really amazing. And hopefully she will remember it. She was very thankful. So we had a beautiful birthday for her. Other than that, it's just been a lot of gardening and dyeing. The garden is in that phase where it just starts going nuts right now, almost to the point where you're like, I can't take it anymore because things are growing so fast. You weed something and trim something one day, and the next day it needs it again. So there's, I don't know if you can see, the first big Hopi sunflower has bloomed, and that's going to give me seeds, the sunflower seeds, that dye pinks, purples, and grays. So that's exciting. I have a whole row of them over there, which I thought would be really pretty, because they basically, when they are facing the sun, which is that way, they're going to be lined up in front of the cabin. And let's see, there's Queen Anne's lace everywhere. The elderberries starting to put out berries. I have a Queen Anne's lace that I planted so usually it's white. That's kind of the native species, and you can use that as a dye plant, but I found one called Dara Queen Anne's lace, which puts out a dark pink flower, and those are just about to bloom, so I'll take pictures for you when they do. But anyway, it's been really good in the garden. Things are going well. We've had, it seems like, just enough rain to keep things watered well, and it's not been too dry. It's been a good year for the garden. And I harvested my first indigo. I wasn't planning on harvesting until mid-July. That's usually when I do my first harvest, but I noticed some of it was already starting to set seed, and that's when the potency of the blue kind of decreases. The amount of blue or indican that you get out of the indigo isn't as great once it starts flowering. So I pinched them back. There were 6 or 7 out of a big bed, but I was like, if those are already starting to go, then I think maybe I should do my first harvest. So I harvested a bunch of it, and if you cut it above the 2nd or 3rd node, because it's kind of like bamboo and it has little nodes where the leaves come out, if you trim it above the 2nd or 3rd one, it will continue to grow more from there. It just starts growing out and gets bushier. So you can get 2, 3, sometimes even 4 harvests in a season if the season is long enough. Since I harvested the first time in June, I may get 4 harvests out of this. We'll see. I should get another one in about a month. But what I did is I took it all and I put it all in a dehydrator, and this is what I got. I've just got it in this bag for now. You can't I scrunched it all up. It's a good bit. It's probably 5 or 6 ounces at least. So this, I'm not sure how I'll use it, if I'm going to make a vat with it, or if I'll try and use it. You can still kind of use this as a fresh leaf. You can get a light blue out of it, but I'm not sure what I'll do with it yet. Let me see if you can see the color of the blue in the leaf. I have a new lens, so I'm not sure how it's doing with the focusing. We'll see. Another thing that I did with Indigo is, so I went to, I think I told you that I had gone to a yard sale and found some really beautiful pieces, mostly table runners that are cotton and linen, for like $1 a piece with these really cool embroidered edges. So this one that was a big square, I decided to stick in the Indigo vat. Isn't that gorgeous? I am so happy with how this turned out. This tying technique is one that I was watching on a YouTube channel, Ferdinand Yang, and I'll have that down below, so you can see they do folding tutorials, so you can see different ways. This one was called an origami shibori, and they do some really good tutorials to show you how you can get different designs on your Indigo pieces. So if you're interested in that, I would recommend it. Another thing that I decided to do with one of the table runners is to actually eco-print it. So I ended up putting this piece in a tannin mordant bath, and then alum acetate, and it took pretty well. It was mostly onion skins, and that blue is the purple hollyhocks, or the black hollyhocks they're called. And these were, I think they're called pincushion flowers. There may have been also some yarrow or some other things in there, but what shows up the most is the onion skin and the hollyhocks. So I thought this would be really nice for like a summertime table runner. I'll probably put this on our table. Our table is also a workspace, a computer space. It's never clean, so either this will encourage people to keep it clean, or they'll just pile stuff on top of it. I've been doing a bit of spinning. I finished one half of the California Red that I was spinning. It's a rare breed that I got a fleece from Maryland Sheep and Wool a couple years ago, and it's turning out really well. It's easy to spin. It's just kind of grabbing on itself. Let's see if I can get this close up for you. So I'm excited to finish the second part. I want to see what this is like when it's done. I'm trying really hard to keep lumps and bumps out of it because I want it to try to be smooth, but this is one of those fleeces that just has some neps here and there, but I think it's turning out well. I think it's going to be fairly itchy. It does have a lot of guard hair in it. These they're actually red, little red hairs that are just a lot stiffer than the rest, but I think it's going to be really pretty. I don't know if I'll dye it or not. We'll see. It's hard not to stick things in a dye pot. The knitting I've been working on, I have been continuing on my fleece flight. How is yours coming along? If you're knitting it, it's so simple because it's all garter, basically, with just short rows. It's one of those that's easy to take out when you're watching something, or you just need a little something to do with your hands. So I've started on the third color. Let me see which way. There we go. We've got this light brown, kind of tan, and then more of a yellowy, and then this one's getting a little more peachy up here. And that's what I've got so far. I'm excited to start adding in the elderberry because that's where the color really starts coming in, and this will be the next one, which is kind of a purpley pink. The one I'm most excited about is probably going to be the last color, and that's this bluish steel. I don't even know what color to call this. It's so beautiful. And these were by Elderberry. So that's going well. It's simple and easy and nice when you want to just take your mind off of things and get, relax with the knitting. I've also been working on the sock blank socks that I showed you last time. It was the self-striping sock blank, well, the semi-self-striping sock blanks that I made where I just put plants down in lines to try and make stripes for self-striping socks. And I have turned the heel of those, and they're coming out well. As you can see, they are not, they're not twins, fraternal twins, I guess. But it's close. I do like how they're turning out. I really like the heels. I like how the heels picked up. I did a slip stitch heel where you slip every other stitch on the knit side. And I think that looks really cool. So yeah, I just need to continue up the leg and give them a little bit of length. And those will be done. So these are the new sock blanks that I had made with EcoView Fiber Mill. They spun the yarn, which is 85% merino and 15% tencel, made from eucalyptus. So there's no plastic, there's no superwash. And I really like it. It starts out super thin, but after I eco-print it, it soaks and really fluffs up and makes a really beautiful yarn. And a lot of times when I knit with a sock blank, you see kind of these ripples in the knitting until you soak it and block it out. This isn't doing that, and I think it's because the tension of the sock blank is the exact same as the tension of my knitting, so they're kind of fitting perfectly into the little ripples of the knit stitch. So yeah, it's been great. If you guys got some of those sock blanks, I'd love to hear how you're enjoying that if you're knitting with them yet. The last thing is that I casted on something new. I know I had told you I was going to cast on the Cora crop, and I'm still waiting for the yarn for that one. I did have to order some. But then Annie Lupton of Boho Chick Fiber Company came out with this, and this isn't the best picture because it messed up in my printer, but here's this. Super cute. She came out with this, I don't know, maybe a week ago. It's called the Good Day Tee, and it's 2 colors and knit kind of in pieces. You can see there's a front piece here and then the side pieces and put together. And I thought it was adorable, and I happened to have 2 yarns that I thought would look good together. One is this one from Moel Yarns, and it was the Whimsy Club that I got, I guess in January. She's doing a club, and I'm not sure if she's still doing it. You'd have to check the website. I feel like she is, where it's kind of yarns that she can't get large amounts of, small special yarns. But this one is 50% silk and 50% camel. And she tries to get a lot of it I think the camel is local, or actually at least within the Wales area where she lives. And I imagine the silk is not, but she dyes them naturally, and then you don't know what you're getting. You get a little package with your special yarn and a little treat from somewhere in that area. So anyway, it's super soft. It's a light fingering weight, but I'm able to get the gauge that I need with it. And I thought it would go well with this. And this is some that I had left over from when I was running Fern Fiber, and it's dyed with bronze fennel. It's the Seven Sisters base, which is alpaca and silk and linen. So I thought they'd go really nicely together. So this will be the main front color, and then this will go along the sides. So yeah, I just cast it on. This is all I've got so far. It's just a little bit for the front. But it's another one that's super easy. You do seam it together, but the pieces are all in garter stitch. So you just knit as far as you need, and then put the next piece on the needles, and I think it's going to be really pretty, and it'll be perfect for wearing over all the linen and cotton dresses that I have, just to give a little extra layer. So yeah, that is it as far as the knitting and the spinning and the harvesting. Oh, one other thing that happened last week. Leif and I were sitting down early in the morning. I was having a little tea, and my husband was already at work. And he came in the house and he said, "You guys, I just found a turtle in the middle of the driveway." So we were like, okay, let's go see, because we get turtles out here, but maybe a couple times a year, if that. And it's always fun to see them. Mostly box turtles, sometimes Carolina painted turtles. So we came outside, and he had moved her out of the driveway because we were expecting a wood delivery for the porch. And he put her over on the, in the grass. And he said, I think she was getting ready to lay eggs because she was starting to dig. And we're like, really? In the middle of the driveway? So we walked over to where it looked like she was laying eggs, or was going to, and there was an egg sticking out of the driveway. So we really carefully started digging around it and found she had already laid her nest. 8 eggs in the middle of the gravel driveway. It was packed so hard. I don't know how she dug into it or how she packed it back down so hard. But we knew they were never going to make it in the middle of the driveway. They'd get run over and crushed. And they'd never be able to dig their way out because it's just too compacted. So we dug up the eggs and we moved them not far. I called a reptile specialist in the area, and he said you can pretty much move them wherever you want in a safe area, and dig a hole that was about the same depth and bury them, and they'll hatch in 60 to 70 days depending on the weather. So some people, when I mentioned this on Instagram, some people were worried that I would move them too far for her to find them. But once turtles have laid their eggs, they're done. They don't come and check on them or take care of them. The baby turtles are on their own. So we moved them not too far over. We moved them not too far over in between 2 little trees where we'd be able to keep a good eye on them. And we dug a hole just about the same depth, and we put the 8 eggs in and buried them over. And then my husband and I built a screened fence around them, basically, so nothing could get in, because they could easily be dug up by raccoons or possum or even the cats, and then they wouldn't have a chance to hatch. So we're hoping that in the next couple of months we'll have some baby turtles hatch. I don't know what we're going to do at that point, because we could very easily just let them find their way, but the likelihood is that most of them would get eaten by something because they're so small. So I'm not sure, we haven't researched yet if it's possible to raise them till they're a slightly larger size and then release them into the wild, or if at that point they would be more captive bred and they wouldn't be able to survive in the wild. So I'm going to do some research in the next couple of months, but it's super cool. I have always wanted to see a turtle either laying their eggs or the eggs hatching, and we were supposed to be going back to Edisto Island in August to try to catch that, because there's a large loggerhead. Well, more than just loggerheads. There's many turtles that lay their eggs on that beach, but during the time when we were going to be there, it was more than likely going to be loggerhead hatching time. And we were hoping we'd catch some of that, but it didn't work out and we're not able to go. So this was perfect. I mean, of course, forest turtles lay their eggs, but I just never thought about seeing a box turtle lay its eggs in my yard. So that's been exciting. Another thing that I wanted to let you know about, and I will put the link in my show notes so you can get it. All my show notes are on my website, ninjachickens.org. That way you can link to anything that I've been mentioning. After I talked about colored cotton, my friend Elizabeth, who had sent me the cotton, sent me a link to a woman who did a talk in her area named Sally Fox. So Sally Fox has been spending many years doing research on colored cotton, figuring out how to get it to keep its color, because some of the red cottons were washing out their color after they were spun, and trying to increase the staple length and the softness, and she's done amazing research. So take a look at that video if you're interested. She also has a great website where she sells some of her colored cotton and some of the seed. So if you're interested, I would check her out. The last thing I wanted to tell you guys about is, I talked about this last time, the No Serial Number magazine, and their most recent issue, which has all that information about spinning nettles, stinging nettles and nettles plant for fiber. And I remembered I have 2 of these. They sent me 2. So I'm going to do a giveaway. And it's going to be a giveaway for 2 people, because I also have a second of their ecoprinting special. And this one they put out in 2016. It's a little bit harder to find because when they reprint it, it sells out quickly. So here's what we'll do. There'll be 2 winners. I'm going to open a thread in the Ravelry group, the Ninja Chickens Ravelry group forum. And here's your question. Well, the first thing you have to do is tell me which one you want to win. You can pick one, either the ecoprinting one or their newest edition. And if you want to see more of what's in both of those, you can go to their website, which is no serial number. I think it's .com, noserialnumber.com. And they have both of them listed so you can see what's in them. And what I'd like you to do is tell me how you have, in the past, incorporated eco into your crafting. Do you reuse yarn? Do you make your own natural dyes? Do you shop used for cloth that you're using in your sewing? Any way that you have tried to incorporate sustainability or lesser impact with your crafting. And if you haven't done that and you're interested in starting to incorporate some of those things, what are you wanting to take as your first step? How do you want to try to incorporate being a little bit gentler on the earth in your crafting? So that's what I want you to answer. And I'll leave it open for 2 weeks, and I'll announce the next winner. I'll announce the winner on the next podcast. And speaking of the next podcast, in the next 2 weeks, Mars and her husband are going to be joining us up here from Hey Brownberry podcast and Hey Brownberry on Instagram. And so hopefully I'll have a little bit of footage with her in it too, and she can say hi to you guys. All right. I hope you guys have an amazing couple of weeks, and I will talk to you in July. Bye.
Heard you want to leave this place where we grew up. This old town just put